Something you get when you shoot late at night and you choose a high ISO setting. In this instance, I shot this image at ISO 5000 so I could have a fast enough shutter speed to stop the action. And what do you get when you shoot at a high ISO? You get digital noise, and this image has got gobs of it. So how do I correct for digital noise? I can correct noise reduction in the detail panel. Now here's my detail panel. It's open, and I have not applied sharpening yet. And in fact, this image, I'm going to apply just a very little bit of sharpening to sharpen the edges. And detail, I'm going to crank up the detail just a bit. But notice what it's doing. You see all those specks inside there? That's digital noise. So like I mentioned in the sharpening lesson, I use my masking to get rid of digital noise. Now you can see all that nasty digital noise. I'm coming up, and again, I'm holding down the Option key on a Mac, Alt on a Windows machine, and now I just see edges. So my sharpening is done, but I've still got the digital noise. Now, when you're correcting for digital noise, it's best to go to a dark area of the image, like here on the outside. You can see all the digital noise. So if I go down to the noise reduction area, I've got two types of noise, luminance, and I've got color noise. The luminance noise are these little clumps. And to correct luminance noise, I hold down the Option key, Alt on a Windows machine, and I drag the luminance slider to the right. And notice it's slowly but surely getting rid of the digital noise. Now I can go so far that I'll take too much detail as well. So when I correct for luminance, I generally stop at about 25. Now detail. The base setting of 50, if you go any higher than that, you're going to take away some of the detail from the image. So if you don't have a whole lot of detail in the image and you're more worried about reducing noise, vary from the default setting. But on a scene like this where I've got detail, I will generally keep it at the default setting. Now notice here, this is another one of my little handy shortcuts. It's actually an Adobe shortcut, but I've learned how to use it very well. When I want to go back to the default setting, I double click the slider. Now contrast. I can also remove noise reduction in areas of high contrast. And here I have got some areas of high contrast. Let's see what happens when I do this. See, I can go too far and lose some contrast. I'm going to roll back just to about 10. And again, this is highly subjective. You're the photographer. You know what you shot. You know what you want. Now, color noise. Your default is at 25, and details at 50, and smoothness is at 50. In most cases, that's just fine. If you want to, you can experiment with this. But again, if you go too far, you're going to remove too much detail. So in this case, with color noise, a little goes a long way. Less is more, as they say. So there's my image. There's before I sharpened it and did noise reduction, and there's after. You can see just a slight subtle difference, but I'm going to zoom in on the noise area. And that's my noise before, and that's after. And you see it smoothed the image out quite a bit. So there you have it, noise reduction in Lightroom's detail panel.